What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Re.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha, Angelique, and Yo-Yo.
Yes, Angelique. Where the party at? Girls, find out what the party at.
I'm trying to figure out why I got to find out on the street that your fragrance is out and you're going to be at Neiman Marcus. Tell me everything.
Well, it is not my fragrance. It is a fragrance that I have been loving for so long. It's the Harmonist. We are having an event at Neiman Marcus. It's fashion, fragrance, and 50 years of hip hop with your girl, Yo-Yo, Kid Capri. And we are going to have so many other celebrities, hip hop celebrities in the building.
And it's in Paramus?
This is in Neiman Marcus, Paramus, New Jersey. On the third floor, there's an RSVP. Those who are in the New York area that want to attend. I mean, we have the Hip Hop Museum is going to be in the building. They're setting up an exhibit. Neiman Marcus has brought up all of their fashion forward flavors of hip hop that represents hip hop. It's going to be in the building setting up these exhibits. And, you know, it's going to be bubblies. It's going to be small bites from Downright Delicious with Yo-Yo. Did I tell you about my cooking show? All right, let's go.
Yes, you
Downright Delicious with Yo-Yo.
And it's at Neiman Marcus at
third
the Paramus.
floor, Paramus, New Jersey, March the 18th. 3 p.m. We can put the information up on our website. You can check Cafe Mocha on Instagram and find out all the other information.
Just show up. I know, right? Just show up.
Just show up and show out. So many of my New York hip hop superstars are going to definitely be in the house. I know Do It All, who's one of the first mayors of New Jersey, hip hop mayors, is going to be in the building. We have Blacksmith doing photography, Kid Capri on the ones and twos, your girl Yo-Yo. We have the Hip Hop Museum that is opening the end of this month, going to be in the building, setting up an exhibit. We have Naughty by Nature representation. I mean, so many artists, Nikki D, so many people are going to be in the building, of course. And it's Neiman Marcus. This is a place when I was young, I didn't think I belonged.
Oh, right. And look at you now.
Right. I mean, so many of us, they are really paying attention to hip hop, paying attention to their customers. And so this event is to invite everyone out so they could see what Neiman Marcus has going on. Check out the Harmonist, one of the dopest perfumes, colognes that I wear out of Neiman Marcus, and get some bites and bubblies and kick it with some hip hop stars and celebrate hip hop. Yo-Yo, Neiman Marcus, the Harmonist. Yeah.
I got to ask you, switching the subject just drastically. Did you watch Chris Rock's special on Netflix?
My God. So my girlfriend calls me up and she's like, yo, you have to watch.
Not what you're doing.
Right. And watch the Netflix special with Chris Rock. And so I'm watching it. I'm enjoying it. I can see a little bit of his jitteries and I'm like, laughing here, there. Ha, 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 ha. And then, I'm like, oh my goodness, he gets to the conversation about him and Will Smith. What did you think?
Well, I think he had to say something. He couldn't just take the high road, period.
Right.
He did things in a very Chris Rock kind of way. If it was somebody else, they would have gone in harder. I know a lot of people are upset at the fact that he went in as hard as he did, the fact that he talked about the entanglement. But the reality is they put that stuff out there. When you put stuff out there, when you personally put stuff out there, then you open yourself up to this kind of judgment. It's different when the tabloids do it or when it's rumor or speculation. But when you take your platform and you use it to put this information out there, then it's all fair, to be honest.
I just don't like black men talking about women.
Right. And that's the hard part.
His mother told him not to fight in front of white people, but your mother didn't tell you not to disrespect a black woman.
Right. Your mom also said, don't be acting that way toward black women. I know she did.
I'm just feeling like, I understood his stance. I love Chris Rock. Of course, I admire Will Smith. And I mean, one thing about this new era of media and people's business out in the street, it's just everyone feels like they have access to it. But I just feel like we need to protect the black woman. We already have it so bad. It's Black Women's Month. I mean, for crying out loud, give us a break. In my Chris Rock voice. So listen, I went to the Essence brunch. It was beautiful.
Was it the women's brunch?
It was the Essence Black Women brunch. And
Okay.
it was beautiful. I mean, I got a chance to see my girl Lonnie Love was in the building looking fabulous as always. And I just enjoyed seeing so many sisters in a room celebrating one another.
It's such a warm, beautiful feeling, isn't it?
It really was. I mean, I sat at the table of Amazon, MC Light, Salt and Pepper, Baby TT, which is a new artist. Baby Tay Tay, I hope I'm saying it right. She's a new artist. And it was just a wonderful experience. And I really loved hearing all of the speeches. I mean, gave some amazing speeches in that room.
It's not on TV. They don't air it, do they? It's just one of those little private events that you get an invitation to. And
it's so hard to get in.
Mm-hmm, it is. They let me
really
out
hard.
front to do interviews once, and Oprah was there.
Wow. Yeah,
But,
I mean, Viola Davis was there. She gave an amazing speech. She talked about how hard it is for Black women, period, and making this last film she made,
The Woman King.
The Woman King, how difficult it was and how much, how much mess they gave them. But, that's what makes a woman a warrior. And being that it's Women's Month, I think, to celebrate how hard it really is in hip hop, how hard it is in radio, how hard it is just trying to push forward and get yourself past the brand of just being a woman.
All right. This is Cafe Mocha, Angelique on the line. Study after study, they're all saying that the pandemic set kids back and virtual learning did not work, especially for younger kids. How bad is it? What can be done about it? How can we get them caught up? Joining us to talk about this is Javoris Hollingsworth. He is an educator and creator of the series Gracie's Corner. Javoris, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So listen, I want to talk about Gracie's Corner and this huge problem that the little kids had during the pandemic learning. But let's start with your personal story. You had a kid at home trying to do the virtual learning. Tell us about it. What happened and what inspired you to create Gracie's Corner?
For me, it definitely was, as a result of the pandemic, because, being a college professor, usually I'm working on campus and then, of course, my kids are learning at school. But during the pandemic, everybody grew closer, even in this case where we didn't really have much of a choice, but all of us being at home at the same time, watching a lot of the same content. And in a lot of ways, YouTube was kind of like sometimes those occasional babysitters for you, when you had to tackle something. But one of the things that stood out to me, though, with a lot of the content was just that lack of representation. There were very few channels and content in general that just had children of color in the forefront. Usually I saw them where they would be kind of like, an afterthought or kind of like a background character. But
right.
I just noticed, it just stood out to me like, man, there's not really many characters that look like my kids. And I feel like that representation is extremely important.
So tell us about Gracie's Corner. What is it? How does it work?
So it's a kids YouTube channel that we created in June of 2020. And it was really created out of just that observation of a need that was necessary to be fulfilled. And that need was having children's content in the edutainment space that had a positive representation of children of color. So, of course, the channel itself is based on my daughter, Gracie. At the time, she was 7 when we first created the channel, but she's now 10. Mm-hmm. But it's been awesome to see her growth along with the channel throughout this process, watching her gain more confidence and just, just watching her blossom has been amazing.
So let me ask you this. I started this talking about the kids falling behind. Did you see that your children, how I know Gracie was 7, but you said children. So did you find that your kids at home were falling behind?
Yeah, we did notice like some areas where, because they had the teachers basically trying to teach, remotely. And I think it got to a point where it was really kind of crazy for them because they had a teacher the teacher was trying to teach remotely, but then they had the other half of the kids that were in the classroom. So that was their way of limiting the number of students in the classroom at a single time to kind of, with the whole social distancing piece. But as a result of that, I think it really made the teachers' jobs so much harder, because now they're trying to manage the kids that they had in the classroom, plus manage the kids that were at their homes learning. So it was really difficult. And I think, although it wasn't intentional, there were some, holes in the education or the experience period that my kids were having from that experience.
And were you at all surprised by this finding that, the kids were falling behind?
No, honestly, I wasn't too surprised by it. I still tip my hat off to the teachers for even trying to make the necessary adjustments to try to pretty much survive that period, because for a lot of people, and I'm speaking to as a professor at the time, like it caught us off guard. And then I remember administrators coming and trying to come up with all these ways to try to, address the issue and still make sure that the learning process continues. But it was hard. And I think there's still some teachers who, still try to struggle with it, because all of the holes and things that occurred during that period, now people are trying to play catch up and trying to address some of those issues that occurred during that time. So it's been quite a thing to see.
For you as a college professor, I remember being pretty independent in college. Did your kids do okay? But you said you teach chemistry. I didn't take that class.
Yeah. So my students, believe it or not, I actually saw an issue with them as well. The reason I say that is because it wasn't necessarily that during that time when the teaching was taking place that I noticed it, but it really stood out to me after after everyone started coming back, because we had a lot of students who, like for instance, their senior year in high school, when they make that move to college, it wasn't a smooth transition because they missed out on a lot of different pieces that would have been essential to help them with that transition. So,
right.
And then it was just kind of like, I think it's just been like a domino effect. It had quite a toll across the board, I think.
Yeah, they said that especially the juniors and seniors who had sort of 2 years down, that they weren't quite ready for college yet. It's been a bit of a mess. But for the little kids, we have this fun learning tool, Gracie's Corner. When people log on to Gracie's Corner TV, so you put this out, take us back. You put this out. You put the first video up. What was the first video you put up? Do you remember?
I think the very first one was Old MacDonald. So what we were doing, we were taking a lot of the fun kids nursery rhymes, and we were putting our own little spin on it, where we were incorporating hip hop, Afro beats, second line, go-go music, like pretty much really embodying our culture and making our content culturally relevant. But with Old MacDonald, introducing animal sounds to the kids, what sound does the cow make and the pig and all that fun stuff. And then we end up branching out to, demonstrating numbers, counting, letters, and then also positive words of affirmation,
nice.
Making sure that our children understand that, they're smart, they're beautiful. And then also a song about loving your hair, making sure that they understand that, despite what society said their hair is supposed to look like, their natural hair is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, so that getting that type of messaging, I felt was very critical, just because, sometimes, and this is information I learned from my wife too, her being the psychologist, that compared to, other children, a lot of times children of color don't receive nearly as many positive words of affirmation. And I think that really does play a role in how our kids see themselves and even their outlook. So just kind of instilling this positivity into them and making sure that they realize how special they are, I think that really does play a big role on how they move forward.
I wish your wife, Arlene, was here so we could go deeper into that, but maybe you can help. I
Yeah.
remember being a shy little, ugly kid. I was the ugly kid in the family and
Oh.
shy, and I didn't have the pretty hair. And I just remember all the time my mom trying to pull me out and doing the
Oh.
affirmations with me. You're
hmm
pretty, you're smart, you're this. Is
hmm
she saying that we're not getting those affirmations from our parents, that we're not getting it from society, that we're not like subliminally getting it from television? Or is it all of that?
I honestly, based on how she explained it to me, I would say that it's all of that. Especially the part that kind of caught me off guard was that a lot of it, really stems from at home as well. Like hearing the parents say certain things, and I don't know the historical, rationale behind why, why as a culture that we don't present these positive words as much compared to others, but the impact is definitely seen. So we try to infuse it even into the music that we're creating, so that it's like, yeah, you're jamming and you're enjoying the music, but at the same time you're digesting something positive.
That's interesting. So we don't even get it from our parents. I wonder why, you know? I wonder
Yeah.
why. So I want to go back to that first video, Old McDonald. You put it up on YouTube. You posted
hmm
out on Facebook and wherever else. And then what happens? How's it go viral? When do you realize, oh my gosh, this is taking off?
So the old McDonald, honestly, back in those days, most of our viewers were pretty much my relatives, like my mom and probably some cousins that would watch our video. So it was crazy watching that then, because I think we would get maybe, if we were lucky, 400 or 500 views per month.
Okay.
But then I think what really happened was people posting on TikTok, and a lot of viral moments happening there where parents were watching the videos and then having this moment like, whoa, wait a minute. And then when that would happen and they were showing it, then a lot of things just started kind of spreading like wildfire, where
Wait,
everyone just kind of started catching on. But that
what?
didn't happen, honestly, until this year.
So
So
somebody found your video and they were reacting on TikTok? So it was a TikTok?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
TikTok was a huge piece. I think, honestly, on TikTok, our music has probably been viewed or played or repeated probably, I think, over 1 billion times. So
Get out of
it's
here.
yeah,
You're not a
yeah.
professor anymore.
No,
Uh,
it yeah. So it's been
a
crazy to kind of see
billion
that, because
views.
it's been completely organic, where we I don't know, it wasn't, we didn't know it was gonna do the way it did. Like we knew that it was important to try to create something that our kids could enjoy, relate to,
Right.
and also learn at the same time. But I think other parents and have also realized that, and kind of have really latched onto it, and we've been just extremely grateful for that support. Because, like I said, when we first started, like back when we made Old McDonald, probably having 400 or 500 views per month, to now, I think we're averaging over 80 million views per month. So it's
Wow.
quite the growth. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going to ask what kind of money that's generating because the
Yeah.
man has left his job as a professor. So that pretty much says it all. Tenure,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it ended up pulling me out of work, just because it was a tough decision at first, because
Hmm.
when you're in the classroom, you get to see the impact that you're having on a student, where they come in that first day not knowing much about a subject, in my case, chemistry. And
Hmm.
then by the end of the semester, they're like these little experts. And so it's really cool to kind of help with that development and growth. And then kind of seeing them just continue to flourish after that. But then with the Gracie's Corner channel, also watching, like looking at social media and seeing our little black and brown babies, like learning, having fun, and the families, and too, just, really enjoying the content. Seeing that impact on a global scale, it was kind of easy for me to see, like, okay, I see the impact I have in the classroom, but look at this impact that we have,
all over,
worldwide. So then it was kind of like, okay, this is the path. I'm just going to focus on this. And yeah, ever since I've been, so committed to it.
Beautiful. Javaris Hollingsworth. The project is called Gracie's Corner TV. It's everywhere. So just go find it and share with your little ones. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is The Espresso. I'm Angelique. Newark, New Jersey just replaced their Christopher Columbus statue with one of Harriet Tubman. Queen Latifah was there to cut the ribbon.
I hope they take away renewed strength, inspiration, humanity, compassion. What Harriet Tubman did was about freedom.
And is Senator Elizabeth Warren feeling some kind of way about Biden and Harris running together in 2024?
I've known Kamala for a long time. I like Kamala. But they have to be a team, and my sense is they are. I don't mean that by suggesting I think there are any problems. I think they are.
And finally, Bel Air is back. The man behind the idea talks about why The Fresh Prince makes such a good drama.
There were a lot of really serious moments and subtext in that show that was just kind of played for comedy. But if you really examine those moments, there's a very real dramatic side to those moments.
Season 2 of Bel Air streaming on Peacock. That's The Espresso.
Okay, y'all.
Sisters in Solidarity, a celebration of girl groups for Black Music Month, hosted by the award-winning funky divas In Vogue.
It's Cindy Herron from In Vogue with this Black Music Month spotlight. From the Bay, they were ahead of their time. Style and musical trendsetters for every girl group that followed. With 3 Grammy Awards and 2 American Music Awards, they're one of the first girl groups to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
We're really hard workers, and we go out there and we take our job very seriously.
With hits like Automatic, Jump, He's So Shy, and I'm so excited. We celebrate the Pointer Sisters, our sisters in solidarity.
Girl groups who shape the fabric of contemporary music and soundtracks of our lives. Be sure to join the hashtag Ladies in Solidarity Music Challenge on Instagram. To experience more, visit cafemocharadio.com. Brought to you by...
It's time to embrace you, your melanin-rich skin, and its unique beauty needs.
When you get over the age of 50, you definitely have to start using things on your skin.
I Know is made specifically to address maturing skin conditions. All of the I Know products provide highly effective natural ingredients dedicated to delivering proven results.
The best advice my mother gave me, take care of your skin now so to take care of you later.
I Know, your beauty solution for maturing skin.
It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. Angelique, Yo-Yo on the line. Miss Angie Stone, the newlywed.
You right on up. I'm gonna funk you. Right on. I'm gonna funk you up. Funk you. Right on up. I wanna funk you. Right on up.
Hey. Hello,
y'all still remember
Angie.
that old song?
Heck yeah, we still got it on extended vinyl. What you talking about?
Right. Listen.
I'm just messing with you.
This is one of the queens of hip hop. I would not be who I am without her. A lot of people know her as a R&B diva and R&B sensation. I know her from Funk You Right On Up. I'm gonna funk you right on up. Sequence.
Oh my
Angie
goodness.
Stone. People don't know that you are a hip hop diva, hip hop queen. One of the
people
first.
People know Angie. People know
B.
Angie B. You know.
Yeah.
I before I was Angie Stone, I was Angie B. Even though they try to do B Angie B and all these other things, that is synonymous for hip hop. The B was the boss. So at the end of the day, we had fun back in the day, and it was it was a legendary time for us all. I was just doing an interview for Showtime and just telling people, letting everybody know that we all are so important to the history of hip hop. Yes. Every last one of us that participated in this iconic move in the history today. So I'm just grateful that God chose me to be a part of that. Well, and I'm thankful to you, Yo-Yo, and you're welcome, sweetheart. And I want to say thank you because without you, Moni Love, Queen Latifah, MC Light, Salt and Pepper. Without all of the queens of hip hop, we would not still have the legacy that we have as females. Shout out to Miss Lauryn Hill, who took the Sequence brand of rapping and singing on to the next level. And I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed that we were, a small part of that.
A big part.
I would argue with
that
the,
too. Yes,
yeah.
a big part.
A big part. You're the first female rapper that any of us ever heard that I ever heard.
I know, but and I can say this to Yo-Yo because Yo-Yo, we go all the way back, sweetheart. And the thing that is crazy for me is I'm from South Carolina, Yo-Yo's from California, and we've all had to taste the slice of New York and New Jersey, feeling like that is the home of hip hop, which we know they have a lot of culture there, and we take our hats off to it because they took everything to the next level. But, when God created this thing, he created it unanimously across the world. And we were just quite a few of the ones that he chose to be a part of that whole army of hip hop. And I'm just so grateful that especially you all remember that we did have a couple of things that we did contribute. And I'm just grateful that you guys remember, because for 45 years and we have kind of been overlooked a lot. And the girls, my partners are Blondie and Cheryl. Over 40 years I've been heartbroken, and I think it's because we never take flowers away from our sisters, because at the end of the day, we are all part of the same tree, and we have to remember that at all times.
We're talking to Angie Stone. It's Cafe Mocha. Go ahead, Yo-Yo.
And it's so dope that you say that, Angie, because it really matters. And we really don't know. Like when you start in it, you are just trying to get done. You're just trying to be heard. You just want to be seen. And you really don't know how to. Who's
the first? You don't know.
And it doesn't even matter who's the first. What matters is the history. It's the history.
What you've contributed.
The history matters. And when you go back and you learn your history and you want to understand who has lined it up for us. Like, I can't be great without you. I always mention your name. And I love you realize.
For it, thank you.
I didn't even realize it was you when I first started. I didn't realize
I know.
It was you.
And I have to, I know, you know why I have to tell people all the time. People say, well, did you forget your girls? Why'd you get out here? Let me tell you something. When I became an R&B star, I was already 30 years old. And I was told by Clive Davis and my team at Arista, do not mention, I had a gag order about mentioning hip hop because they didn't want to age me. I was blessed enough to still look young. And so as a result, they did not want the hip hop era to age me, because at that point, I started in 79. And if I wanted a career as a singer, then I had to be quiet, keep my mouth shut, and do what I was told. Of course, as I became more and more famous, I began to do hip hop on my live shows, and people then knew, oh, wait a minute, this is the same girl that did Funk You Up. So it was pretty much shut up and do your job. And for me, being a single young mother trying to survive in an industry that was male dominated, I had to do as I was told. But it never meant that I forgot my humble beginnings. I remember asking Sylvia Robinson, can I rap and sing? Because I knew that one day I would grow up and I wanted to sing. So my singing, God said, your gift will make room for you. And I was able to come back and address hip hop from the right angle. So when Missy came and when all these people came that had the ability to sing, I was so grateful. I remember Queen Latifah, loving Angie Stone or Angie B. And I remember her saying, please, Angie, come help me. And I was there to encourage her, to let her know, hey, you're a dope singer. You don't have to hide behind just being a rapper. And I was there as a support system. I didn't care who was first or second or third. I just wanted to be there to make sure that we all stayed on top. And as a result, I think I was expecting people to remember all those things. as we get older, my birthday was yesterday. I turned 61. So to start at 17 and to still be in this business and still be relevant in this business and have to deal with the pressure of people still not knowing that, hey, you made Cashbox. You were the first, one of the first rap female artists to make Billboard, to make Cashbox, to actually make a 12-inch record, to explain that to a young audience that could care less. It's hard, but it hurts me because as women, I expect for all us to have each other's back. And that's why I commend you, Yo-Yo, because Cheryl the Pearl and Blondie, who are very much like me, is very heartbreaking for them to, I went on to become a successful singer. Well, for people that's all that they have under their belt, they want to be able to smell their roses
recognized,
while they're
to be
alive.
Acknowledged.
Yes. So my hat is off to you, Miss Yelly, and all of the people that never forget that we did do a little something to make a difference. Thank you.
A big something in
okay. Thank you.
What do you think of today's female rappers? Because I think, for a time, there wasn't a lot going on with female rappers. It felt like there were only a couple of sprinkles here and there. Now it feels like not only are they there, but they're number one on the chart and everybody knows them. And they're hosting Saturday Night Live and stuff is happening for real.
Politicking.
Yeah, my hat is off to all of the females that are doing their thing. And unlike Yo-Yo, myself, and the crew from back in the day, we didn't have to use things to lure you in. It was the fun of it all. It was the lyrics. It was the challenging, the friendly competition, all the things that kind of kept us, kept the juices rolling. I am a little disappointed that, we have to, that sex sells so much that we have to use the prowess of our sex appeal to say, hey, oh, wow, look at me. You know what I mean? It's not about look at me. It's like, listen to me. Say something that means something, that makes a difference, so that people, like when Lil' Kim spits or when Queen Latifah and them spit, they talking a lot of mess, but guess what? They can back it up. And my thing is, these girls now is just like, if you ain't got the booty shots or the breast shots and everything else that goes along with the language, then you're irrelevant. It bothers me that, one day that too will play out, and then what? Your craft have to be able to carry you.
It's so hard to really speak your truth when it comes to that. When people ask me all the time, like, what do you feel about the new artists that are coming up? I'm very careful with my words. Because I know you want to ever discredit women, but I get exactly what you're saying, because I always think, like you're saying, how you had to come in. You started out one way and then you had to pivot and you had to do something different. The fact that we can acknowledge those who have come before us and we hear their story, because history has to be told in order for artists to even understand what we've been through. Sometimes when women go through stuff in the industry, I always feel like, wow, I wish I could just have a conversation with them. I want them to know that I understand exactly what they're going through, exactly where they are.
Right.
And I wish I could have a conversation with them. But sometimes they don't want to hear us, but hearing interviews, having conversation with legends who have paved the way, I think it opens up the door for bigger conversations. And when they hear these conversations that they don't want to have, they kind of get some kind of understanding without speaking it.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I get more from the legends that started out with me. Like Shyrock reaches out for me on a regular, and people that know the history, they reach out because every time we take a hit, they take a hit. Yeah. Because it's just like, I went to a thing last week with LL Cool J, I think the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and they was like, Angie, you have to come. And I'm like, I never get invited, so let me go. But I was just so happy that I went, because when I went, the first leg of the show was when they honored all of the legends that started before the 10-year period when Salt and Pepper and the crew stopped. And we were the only female group in the lineup. So it was like they wanted me to see, hey, we did not forget. And Curtis Blow says, I will not allow you all to forget these women, because before there was a tour, Yo-Yo, I don't know whether you know this or not, but before there was a hip-hop tour, Sequence went on the road. We went out with the Barcades, the OJs, the Gap Band, Parliament, Funkadelic, Confunction. There was no hip-hop tour. Funky Up was so big, it was out at the time that those were the big records. And we had to tour with those cats. Until we started writing for the Sugar Hill Gang. We ended up writing Eighth Wonder, Apache, and all of these other songs for the Sugar Hill Gang, and a lot of people don't know that. And we were also the West Street Mob. So when we started doing that, then the birth of the hip-hop tour came into light. And as a result, the Funky 4 Plus More, One More, Furious 5, all of them we were able to put together a hip-hop tour. And as a result, that was the first hip-hop tour. But until then, there was no hip-hop tour. It was just us and the rest of the R&B cats. And we would go out, do that one song, and tear the place down. So I'm just telling you, before it became a hip-hop nation, we were out there like solo grinding it with all of these big R&B stars. And it was okay because we were kids and we were having a blast. So when I sit back and I think about that, I'm like, how can you guys forget that? But I say, you know what? They can't remember it because they weren't there.
Cafe Mocha, we're talking to Angie Stone. Angie, of course, we always want to talk to you about the history of hip hop, but we invited you to congratulate you on your wedding and turning 61.
I know.
So tell us about this wedding.
Just got married. I got married on November the 12th. Thank you, sweetheart. Listen, I've been so busy working and grinding, that's what I forgot about living and loving. And when I decided that, okay, I'm going to do this, I ran into someone I went to grammar school with, elementary, middle school, and high school, and we knew right away, hey, how have you been? I've been fine, and I'm blessed to marry a man that was from my hometown. His name is Benjamin Wirtz, and I have to tell you, he is such a gentleman. He said God allowed him to wait for his wife. And I have to tell you, I'm in a place I've never been before, because I've been independent all my life. But I can tell you this, I am having the time of my life. It's like God gave me a second chance. I'm about to drop a new record. I just signed a new deal, got a new husband and a whole new, regime. I got a new TV show that I'm working on that I actually created called House of Flame that I'm co-hosting with Music Soul Child. So it's a lot of good things happening, and I'm pushing the narrative of my foundation, which is called Angel Stripes, where I really support and love on the senior citizens. So I'm really in a great space.
What do you do with that, Angie?
With my senior citizens? Well, yes. The first thing that I got with them is I took them out to vote back when Barack Obama was running. That was my first initiative to pull together a lot of the senior citizens. I got car services, and I went around to every senior citizen home I could find and took them to the polls to vote. Then I started giving them Thanksgiving meals and setting up family visits for a lot of the senior citizens that don't have family. And because there used to be a thing years ago called Candy Stripes, I patterned my business at the Candy Stripes. And Angel Stripes is a bunch of young people who need to learn about compassion and loving on the elderly, because we will get there one day. And what we do is we put together, I just did a big thing right after my wedding where we did a giveaway. I did a performance for them for free. And then I just gave them all love and gifts. And it's what I do. This summer I plan on taking them out to the parks to play bingo, to the movies and different things, and just sitting there making sure that they live, doing their hair, painting their nails, do whatever it's going to take for them to remember that we love you.
And we love you, Angie. Make sure that when your show, when it starts airing, you got to come back and give us everything, okay? Tell us everything.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Don't worry. I'll be calling on you guys shortly. Look, I ain't put this many years in to forget my humble beginnings. So I thank you all. I wish you continued success, and I will always be here if you need me. And Yo-Yo, from me to you, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you and all your hip-hop prowess. Please let all of my sisters know that I am so proud of them and we love them. Anyway, we got to keep each other lifted.
Yep,
Okay.
I love you. I love you. I love your inspiration. I love what you've done in music. I love what you've done as a woman. I've loved what you've done as a mother. I love what you've done
Thank
as
you,
a
hon.
friend. I love the fact that
Thank
you
you.
have contributed. You've made a blend of what you were to who you are now, which is very hard
Thank
to
you.
do in this industry. A lot of people don't know
Yes.
it's hard to blend and come into
You're right.
the new, being a part of something so young and being a woman in this industry. A lot of people don't understand it's hard. This is a man's field.
It
This is a
is.
man's world. But for you to stand so strong in the songs you've made that has contributed to women and your growth as a woman, as a single mother, as a legendary artist in this industry, we congratulate you, Cafe Mocha.
Thank you so much.
Radio for women of color,
All
number
right.
one syndicated radio for women of color. We pull our hats off to you and show you all the love you deserve.
Thank you so much. And like I said, continued success. And I look forward to what the future is bringing to us all. Thank you, and God bless you both.
Bless you as well. Thank you,
Okay.
Angie.
Thank you. I love
All right,
you.
y'all. Love y'all.
I love you. Thank you.
boo.
We're promoting you all over.
All right, babe.
That's the show. To get the full show, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts or follow us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio.
Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Compass Media. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.
Okay, y'all. Sisters in Solidarity, a celebration of girl groups for Black Music Month, hosted by the award-winning Funky Divas In Vogue.
Hey, it's Terry Ellis from In Vogue with this Black Music Month Spotlight. They are true sisters in the spirit who helped bring gospel music into the mainstream. With 3 Grammy Awards, 16 albums, and millions in sales, they are the highest-selling female gospel group in history.
When you're just faithful over the gift that God has given unto you, He can continue to allow you to move forward.
With hits like Is My Living in Vain, You Brought the Sunshine, and Pure Gold, we celebrate the Clark sisters, our sisters in solidarity.
Girl groups who shape the fabric of contemporary music and soundtracks of our lives. Be sure to join the hashtag Ladies in Solidarity Music Challenge on Instagram. To experience more, visit cafemocharadio.com. Brought to you by...
It's time to embrace you, your melanin-rich skin, and its unique beauty needs.
When you get over the age of 50, you definitely have to start using things on your skin.
I Know is made specifically to address maturing skin conditions. All of the I Know products provide highly effective natural ingredients dedicated to delivering proven results.
The best advice my mother gave me, take care of your skin now so to take care of you later.
I Know, your beauty solution for maturing skin.